What's up, everybody? My name is Anthony Patterson. I'm here at the Raleigh Municipal Building for the exhibition Breathe, Life After Death. I'm here on behalf of the Black on Black Project for a special edition of Curated Conversations. I'm sitting here with a good friend of mine, William Paul Thomas. And can you please give us a brief overview of your artistic practice?
Okay, so I make a lot of paintings, but also make video and photo works as well. So a good deal of the work that I share publicly has been paintings of big faces of people I know. A lot of times with the focus specifically on that individual and thinking about their personal relationships as well, being kind of a way of framing who the person is. You know.
Wow, that's a great way to get to the reality of a person and try to get a little bit closer to people. And kind of segueing, 2020 has been a ridiculous year, right? I mean, from the passing of notable figures to, this global pandemic and protests and uprisings all over the place. How are you navigating this year?
Yeah, I think, definitely some major challenges I've experienced both in recognizing what's happening in the world and on a personal level. And so I've had some really significant life changes happen, and I thought for like the first couple months of the quarantine that I was cool. Like I wasn't really bothered by certain aspects that I felt like other people seen the broadcast that they were bothered by. And then I think reality set in and I realized what was changing for me, what had changed for me professionally in terms of like opportunities, or what it meant to have a practice where I'm inviting people to sit for paintings, and I can no longer just go up to random people and do that, without compromising my health or theirs. And so I have recognized that, this year has created some challenges for me that I didn't expect to encounter for sure, like all of us have experienced. But I've been grateful for like the relationships like the ones that I have with the men in this show and with other artist friends, other family that have kept me sustained and kept me working towards my professional projects, as well as like keeping myself together on a personal, like keeping my mental health together.
So what is your relationship to painting, and more specifically to portrait painting?
What I really get into about painting and what my sort of evolution has looked like in painting is I grew up drawing things that I could observe. All right, so whether that was like cartoons or pictures I could find in magazines, and painting was no different in that. Like I'd take pictures either that I shot myself or that I could find and try to make the painting I was making look like that. So a lot of my painting practice has been centered on making a picture that looks like some other existing image. And I think the switch for me and the evolution had been like trying to recognize what was possible in painting that might not appear in the photograph I was working with. So with this series in particular, like this one of JP, altering the color. And so, and you're a significant figure in this, and that like I started this series, one of the precursors to this series was a photograph that I made of you, where I had altered your skin color, right? And so I took a photograph of you outside your house and did a digital edit where I cropped it so that you couldn't see like anything below your neck, and then I darkened your skin to like this kind of bluish black color. And that was before I had made any of this work, but that got me to making paintings that did a similar thing. And so my relationship as painting is really closely tied to photography and thinking about sort of the believability of images, whether that's what we're talking about photography or painting, to make something look three-dimensional. So I'm heavy into like modeling and illusionism and three-dimensionality in painting. But I have other work where I just get into color and flat design and things, but a lot of my interests are sort of steeped in making something on a flat surface look round, and also, so beyond the formal, thinking about conceptually like what it means to make pictures of certain things. So as far as portraiture goes, of all the different things that we could paint, why not paint the people that I either want to develop or have developed really dynamic, interesting relationships with. So that goes from friends and colleagues to family to folks I meet out on the street. It just seems like a perfect platform to capture people in in a format that they probably either haven't been or were unlikely that they'll be captured in that same way. So so many of us have cell phones and like take selfies or have pictures taken of us. I think very rarely you have somebody like make an oil or acrylic painting of your likeness. And so I think there's something like special about that act, a way of recognizing a person that's really significant to me. So my relationship to painting is closely attached to like the power that painting people has to celebrate and elevate who they are in a way that they might not otherwise experience.
Great. For this portrait specifically of Jermaine Powell, JP, did you approach this painting a little differently than the other ones?
The way that this one, the lighting happened. So JP came over and I turned on a TV screen and turned on like a YouTube pink channel or whatever, like it was pink for 10 hours or something like that or whatever to have that light reflect. So a lot of times when I'm lighting subjects, I kind of use whatever available light there is. And so in this case, I kind of use that monitor to shine this color light on his face. And so I think that's one thing that's unique compared to the other ones. The lighting is always significant, or like I'm always deliberate with the way I light the figures for the photo references. But in this case, I thought about something that would sort of contrast with the blue that I knew I was going to use. And the scale is different. So this cyanosis series, which I've talked about at different times, of men with half of their faces painted blue, most of them of 30 plus paintings are like 2 by 3 feet. So this is, I guess, the largest one that I've done with that same style. And so I think that's significant.
I enjoy self-portraits, and you paint portraits of other people. Mm-hmm. So how does it feel to have your own likeness being depicted from Clarence?
Man, I saw that piece in his studio. We went to go pick up the work, and I was glad. One element that we was sort of like we discussed in the group was whether or not you would get to see the piece that the person was making of you before it came to the show. And so we decided that for that piece in particular that I wouldn't see it. We did a Zoom call where I saw a little glimpse of it, and I kind of went crazy just off of seeing like the little glimpse. I'm like, oh, that looked, because I had no idea what he was doing. He came and photographed me with the pink cinder block, but I didn't know exactly how he was going to utilize it in the painting. But when we came to it in his studio, I just like, it floored me. I was speechless. I felt like just the likeness and the use of color and the gold leaf and doing something in his painting that resembled my interest in terms of like doubling myself and then referring to a project that's really important to me. So it just had all these layers, and I felt like I look good in the painting or whatever. We talking about like how my beard looked in it, and I feel like I look strong and like confident or whatever. And so I feel like the way that he saw me maybe made me kind of like in a way reassess or reevaluate the way that I've been trying to see myself, right, as a more confident, bold, empowered person or whatever. So it's just like so many levels to what he was able to bring forward in that portrait that that was really exciting, and I felt really just honored by what he came up with. I think it's an amazing piece in itself, and I was talking to him about trying to separate like my own bias because it's me from like what the piece is, which is difficult to do because I'm looking at an image of myself. But I think the piece is great, you know, even if it wasn't me, but it just so happens that it is me. You have a special relationship to, I think we're all like self-absorbed or self-involved enough, or at least identify with ourselves enough to appreciate when we see ourselves represented in a certain way. And I think he really like did a magnificent job of representing me. So I really appreciated it.
Yeah, it's a gorgeous work. It's got me wanting to have a portrait of myself painted by not myself. Yeah, so yeah, I want to thank you for your time, and congratulations on this show.
Yeah, thanks a lot, AP.
Oh, no problem. Thank you.